record and share my screen. So welcome everybody to week 2 of coffee and consistency. So I'm gonna make sure I share my screen here real quick in PowerPoint. All right, here we go. Oops, I'm already ahead of my slide here. Hold on. All right, cool. Coffee and consistency. We've already cheers. So if you joined late, we already cheers our coffee this morning. So we're getting going on this. And why we started this, and this is a training, this will be about 45 minutes that we're doing each week for the month of May. If you're a new coach, welcome. We actually said this would be a great training because we're going to cover a lot of cool things today as far as like that'll help you, all the things you need to know, and then some as far as a new coach and getting a good start, feeling really confident in what you're doing. I just wanted to review a little bit about the goal of what we're doing here is we're doing a Saturday training every month of May, finishing on June 3rd on showing you guys how to work your business, where to focus, how to do the steps, because the steps are predictable in what we do here. The goal here is if you're like this is for senior coaches and above, basically, like the whole series, but anyone can tune in, but that's kind of where we're aiming at. If you're somewhere in that, a senior coach to manager area, the goal would be to move forward 2 or 3 points to director or possibly even executive director this month. People are wanting help. If you're from the Northwest, the sun's starting to peek out a little bit. And if you at all have been through this time of year, you know that people are like, oh crap, like I didn't do anything in January, February, March, April. I need to do something right now. I mean, people are getting healthy all the time, but this is a good time if you are consistent in what you're doing. It's a good time when you're consistent anytime. But so like this month, we're going to show you the things that you need to do to have that predictable transformation in your business. We know how to show people to have predictable transformation in their life and in their health. We're going to show you how to do this. And we're doing this from all the people that do it really well. All of our trainers on this call run well over 10,000 frontline volume and above. So if that basically, if you're a new coach, what that means is they're helping at least 30 or more people on program. They do what they do well. They make a great income just from their client support, not even from what they've duplicated on the people on their team. So we want to show you that art form, and anyone can do that too if you follow along with us. If you're an executive director already new, and congrats, we've had so many of them, the goal would be remember this one at this level. You want to keep moving forward in your business 2 to 3 points a month. That's really the ultimate goal and what you want to be doing here. And then if you're one of our leaders on this call, the goal is to just continue to learn how to teach this so you can duplicate that and show others how to do it too. So last week's action steps, you guys, this is just a review. If you didn't see it in the page, these are just some of the things that we encourage you to do. A big focus on them was to fill out your 100 persons list and add 50 people to it. Just the practice of that. We have someone training on that today to assist 2 new clients, and watch Dan Valentine and Becca's video on creating your 100 list and helping connect with people and how to professionally set that up. I do want to say congrats. A lot of people took the 2 clients, assist 2 clients to heart this week. We've started over 200 clients in our organization just since the start of the month. So well done, everybody. That's 200 people saying yes to changing their health. So just want to give you guys all a big congrats on that off to the start of the month. Last week we talked about setting up your structure. It was all the kind of stuff that like you need. Like we could talk about action steps, but we really wanted you to root this in something that was stable, to make it simple, easy. Kind of what we were sharing with you last week is that it doesn't take a lot of time to run a consistent business. It doesn't take a massive amount of hours if you do it well. So last week we talked about all the cornerstones that you need to do that. That was some of the action steps. This week we're going to talk about follow-up, connecting, Facebook, and Allison and Dawn are going to share how to share program like a pro. Like literally get your notepads out. They are going to drop like knowledge bombs on you so you can feel really confident and show you how to show people that they can have health and want to say yes to starting their healthy lifestyle. So we'll be going all over that next week. We'll go over some of the back end support stuff of that. So as I kick off today, before I introduce our first, Denise, who's going to be speaking here, this is a slide I showed last week. Some people think that success looks like the left-hand side here, when it really in reality looks like the middle one there. But what we want to show you guys through this process is how to make it more on the far right one. Dawn, you're my co-host today. You kicked this off before we push the record button for those that are watching record. If people follow these things, for you and I, it looked like the middle one. Like we really learned the hard way. But now we've got all this stuff figured out. And if you follow the steps, like your learning curve will look like the one on the far right-hand side. So I wanted to expand on this a little bit this week. Many of you guys, this is one of the first slides I saw as a new coach. I don't know why it resonated with me, but it also popped up for me this last week, and it really got me thinking because I know one thing for sure in this, in coaching and in growing my business and helping others, but also like developing and moving to where Ashley and I wanted to become in this business, and is that it takes action, consistency, and authenticity. Like that's honestly what it needs. I don't have any like massive secrets except to share with you what we've learned over time. But if you stay consistent, anything is possible. Don, I know that you never thought you'd be where you're at. I mean, you just signed up just to help your dad. Kelly and Tim, like Kelly, you didn't even think you were ever going to become a coach. You just were like, whatever Tim's doing. You're just on my screen right now. Christy, like you went to national convention as I don't even think you were a senior coach. Like this was just an idea that you were still trying to get healthy at that point. The consistency, like literally, if I could share one thing with you guys today, just stay consistent and invest in yourself to keep moving forward daily. And I think this shows this here. And I also found a better version of this slide that I wanted to show you. And this so rings true. The other slide is pretty much like a you win or you lose kind of a deal. Like, you're either at the prize or not. This is like, this is what shows people. Like, I love this slide because it really kind of showed me. This one actually popped up right next when I was trying to find that image. Some people get started and they just don't go forward. Like that's their health or their business. They just give up. Like they're just not doing the steps. So they're not remaining consistent. Some people let concepts get in the way. They get scared. They just stop moving forward when they're just about to break through. Some people will settle for good. Some people will get to a pretty solid place, and that's awesome, but they stop moving forward on the steps. And some people will stay consistent long term. And either way you go, you're making progress. But the real victory is in the consistency over time. Like, I wish there was kind of like an actual like reward like closer, because you can actually jump off to some pretty good rewards right away with health coaching and in your health. But this slide really shows you, like, this one blew me away. So hopefully this resonates with you a little bit today. Don, you can probably see the chat better than me. Was anyone saying anything on that? What's the chat saying?
I just love it. Just that it's all about consistency. And then Kelly said, don't give up on your dreams. Consistency works in our health and in our business, so that, really marrying the two together.
Yeah. So with that being said, that's probably the best tip I can give you. If you showed up here today, if you want to know what it takes to be a great health coach, if you want to know what it takes to grow a business, if you want to know what it takes to be consistent and get to that, that's my biggest one that I have for you, is consistency over time and staying and plugging in action and authenticity. So with that being said, I'm going to bring on one of the most authentic people I know. So Denise, I want to give her, actually, if we could all like give her a big like round of applause or some love. For those that know, like her, I'm trying to get emotional about this, but grandson got severely injured by a dog this week. And so because of the freedom, because of her health, they were able to fly back home, travel to Salt Lake City, be there for him. And he's had to have massive face reconstructive surgery. And I asked her, I was like, I got you covered. You don't need to train on this. She goes, no. She goes, no, Brad, I want people to know this stuff. I do it easily. I don't have to prepare anything. I just want to speak to her. So let's all give her a round of applause and just really listen in to what she's got to say today, because she's got some great stuff right now.
Thank you, Brad. And I want to thank you all for your prayers and your support. I really feel them. God's in control, and that's really hard. But even through this journey of my own health and health coaching, Brad can attest, I've changed a little. And I've had to really let go and let God. And with this, I had to just sit back. Okay, what is it that we need to learn and move forward? But yes, I'm blessed that we could jump and be here and support the family. There's no way I could do this as a nurse practitioner in that brick and mortar, which I loved. I loved helping women. But this has really, really changed our life. So I'm really excited about the stuff you guys are learning today, because believe me, I went to the school of hard knocks and wanted to do it my way, make up my own spreadsheets. And a lot of you were victims of that. But now, by learning the simple systems and really concentrating on what works for others and reaching out to my mentorship, I found that really helps. So we're going to be talking about some tools today. We talked about the map. Yes, I still fill out my map. This is my brain. So having that map is key in what we do. But also, we're going to talk about your hundreds list. So if you could all grab your hundreds list, and let's get ready for just a couple minutes to focus on this. And I'm not as good at this as the other people. So grab your hundreds list. Everybody got it there? Hold it up. Whatever form you're using right now. We're going to be focusing on the Dan Valentine social media hundreds list. Okay. Dan came up with this, and it's a great way to layer on people about their health. And these are some people that I'm currently working with. And you can see some of them I haven't moved to the phone yet. We've still been working on building that relationship. And others that I've been able to move to the phone have either said yes or not yet, but they're still on my list. One of my dear elementary school friends, Sharon, came to me and said, don't forget the people, Denise. And that's when I vowed, anytime I meet somebody, to write their name down on my list, because we get busy with life, running the hospitals and such. I don't want to forget people. Or when I have 5 minutes in my day or a crack in my day, I can pull this out and look at who I need to connect with and just do a quick message or a phone call to them. So this really helps me in following up. And these are things that we had to learn what works. So I'm building these relationships. I'm doing that follow-up Friday. When I'm sitting down on my Friday to follow up with people, it's easy to pull this out. I don't have to think. It's already there. I literally can reach out and touch them. I know where I am in this conversation and where I need to move it forward, or where else. Maybe I need to go make some more comments on their Facebook pages and love on them a little bit. But with the people who are using this tool are helping a lot of people and can easily grab this and go and help the next couple people. Congrats to all of you that have started 2 clients and are working on building those relationships. That's huge. And I've got to brag on my team for a minute. The ones that are having these lists, they are doing awesome. And I see them. I've even got one gal that's got a hug list. And she goes in and she just will hug on people and just love on them. Maybe they're not ready yet, but she knows they're there. She's that light in their world. But this is how we just recently hit Global Director. This is one of the tools that I couldn't do it without. And it really helps me have that balance in my life, just like Allison here. And here she is holding her baby. And I think she had another one next to her. And she's working on her hundreds list. It doesn't take that long to do. Whatever format you're using right now, we are going to be concentrating on this one because it kind of helps us move the conversation along. And I've had to take some of my old ones and adapt them over, fill this one out. But as long as you have something that you're working with and that you can add to daily, it really helps. And there we go. So I'm really excited because with this tool, what Carlene's going to teach you about next is social media and how to use this tool to move that forward and bring value to what you're posting. So thanks, Brad.
Well, Denise, thank you so much. And I also want to thank you guys so much for your prayers. I came back from Costa Rica and I've been super sick, and your love and support in this community is just why I love being a part of it. So social media, I could not refrain from jumping on to share, because that has been a huge thing for me, because when I first started coaching, I was not using Facebook much. Like, I posted a picture here and there with my family, but I really wasn't posting a lot on Facebook. I really didn't use it much. And I hit ED in about 2 months, and I went to go global, and I was like, I got this fire in me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to totally use social media and Facebook to really ramp up my frontline volume. And I really wanted to use that tool to show up in the world. So really, one thing I really did before I really started using, Facebook, was, how do I want to show up on Facebook? And I really resonated with this. I was like, how can I use this in a way to help people who are struggling with their health, struggling in their life, they're unhappy, they hate their jobs, they wish they could be at home with their kids. So I wanted to use Facebook to be the hope, the light. I wanted to stand out and grab people's attention. I wanted, when people thought of me, they knew that there's hope, that they don't have to give up on life. What's possible, that anything's possible with what I show on Facebook. So we live in such a negative world right now. I wanted to use the program and how it's affected me to impact other people and how it's in fact impacted my family to show what's possible. So I recently as well just went global. I'm a mom of 3, a 2-year-old and 2 teenage girls, super busy all over the place. But because I've been so authentic on Facebook and so on purpose and consistent, consistency is key, as you keep on hearing, but I wanted to build trust and be the light. So I'm excited to dive in to kind of tell you some steps of if you're really consistent and you don't give up and you keep on doing this with the steps I'm going to show you, it's going to pay off, and you're going to see your frontline volume go up. You're going to see people really watching your Facebook. So definitely these steps have been huge. So first big one I wanted to recommend is thinking again, like, how do you want people to see you on Facebook? I post 3 times a day. I do an inspirational quote in the morning. I do a recipe like around lunchtime. And then I do like a transformational picture around like 7 o'clock at night. Be you. People can tell when you're not being authentic, or if it doesn't seem like you, like people really read into that because they've known you before your health journey and all that. So you want to bring who you first were and bring that with you as you're really branding yourself. You really want to be positive on Facebook. I wanted to use Facebook to build relationships with others and to tell a story. I'll also tell you, you can really like start watching people on Facebook and their story is, really showing up through Facebook. You can see a lot of stuff about people's lives just by watching their Facebook. Some things I've really been mindful of is being negative. We all have real life happen. As you see, I got sick and it's on there and that's okay. But how can you use those real life situations to inspire people to be more positive with it? Because you don't really need to bring all that negative stuff in there, because as Optavia now, we want to show that we're totally different in the world and show up that way on Facebook. So we really don't need to bring all of our negative and all the bad stuff going on in our lives into Facebook. I also don't say a lot of stuff like, I lost this much weight, ask me how. I've not really seen much stuff with that. I like to do hashtags or how is this impacted? How am I riding the bike with my kids? Like that kind of stuff speaks way more than ask me how. So that's been some big stuff. Algorithms are huge. I think a lot of people are concerned to post 3 times a day, but filtering in other stuff. Trust me when I say a lot of people are not seeing this. So you want to be consistent because the more you are, people are going to see that. I friend 5 to 7 people a day. Instead of just like liking a post, I'm commenting on a post. Or if somebody's like commenting on my picture, instead of reply, I'm physically commenting and starting a whole thing and tagging their name. And I change out my profile and my banner maybe 2 to 3 weeks, keeping it fresh, switching it up from regular pictures to transformational pictures. Like Denise said, I operate off my hundreds list. That's a huge, huge tool. What I actually do is every day I'm picking 10 people off that list. I'm going to their page, commenting, nothing big, because remember I'm a mom of 3, but I'm like, oh, so cute, or oh my gosh, that picture's great, or just they're coming back to your page by doing that, and it's keeping that they're on your heart anyway. So it's just that little thing, or sending them a quick PM. So I do something that's so unique to me. We all have systems checks, right? Well, I was telling Brad, I have a systems check on Facebook. I actually go to my Facebook page and I do a systems check. I'm balancing, like I said, between 3 posts, but I'm putting family stuff in there, being at home with my girls because I want to show what's possible. How has my life changed? What am I doing now that I wasn't able to do prior? A big thing I told Brad that has been really key, I've kept this off for 3 years. I have to kind of go back to that place because I'm so used to my life right now that I want to always remember where I came from. And I want to bring how that impacted my life because that's what people need to hear is what was it that I was going through at that time 3 years ago that people still need to hear, because sometimes we forget. So we need to do a systems check to be humble and authentic and bring back what used to happen, because people need to hear that. Our friend 5 to 7 people a day. Bringing my page light and inspiration. A couple people that have really stood out to me. I love Ashley Miller, how she's really bringing the family aspect. She's super authentic, but she's also like using what's kind of popular in the world right now, or in and stuff, to keep it very hip, fun, and engaging. Elizabeth and Amy on my team, I really love. They're super fun, and they've brought a whole new dimension I had not thought of, but they're totally just embracing being themselves. And I love that they're spunky and just authentic. Nicole has done a great job like showing community on her page. A post really quick that stood out to me was Brad's post recently that he was hiking and had the carrier, and he was like, oh my gosh, I remember back in the day, like when I was 30 pounds heavier, man, it was hard to get up that mountain. I was huffing and puffing, and those little things are just great to bring back. So really quick, just to recap some of these steps really quick. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys. And that way, if you want to write some of these down. So again, I do a systems check on Facebook. I'm balancing between 3 posts a day. I'm making sure I'm scrolling through my Facebook, making sure everything's looking authentic. I'm bringing family, staying humble, and never forget where you first started. 5 to 7 people a day, using your hundreds list, bringing, your light and inspiration, consistency. You hear that a lot. I love what it said, a quote that I found: when you look at people who are successful, you will find that you aren't the people who are motivated, but have consistency in their motivation. And here again are some action steps if you guys want to write these down. How do you want to show up on Facebook? How do you want people to see you? How I do my inspirational quotes, midday recipe. People can tell if you're being authentic, positive. How do you want to build your brand? And be the light. With us going towards Optavia here in July, be that light that people need right now, because we're in a very negative world. Just be you. In order to stand out, you have to simply be you and not focus on trying to be like everybody else. When you try to be like everybody else, you'll blend in instead of stand out. Experiment with different ideas and post what your page needs, and that personal touch, that's how you stand out. So I hope this was helpful. And again, thank you so much for letting me share this morning.
Hey, of course, Carlene, that was incredible. The chat was blowing up with tips. And what I love about what Carlene gave us there, she gave you some tangible tips on how to bring this in. So Carlene, thank you for doing that. So some of you guys are doing this already really well. Add what Carlene shared to what you're already doing. If you're new to sharing on social media, or this is going to be a little bit new for you, just start small with a few of those areas. But what I want you guys to see is how the hundreds list that Denise showed you marries up with how to do actions on Facebook. What you feed grows, and what you starve dies. So give that time and attention, and it will feed into that process. And plus the algorithms there. And if I could just do like one little overview. So like a lot of you guys know Presidential Director Doug Wood, and he has actually a social media mentor. And what he always says and boils it down to is people don't want to be told or promoted. They want to be shown value, and they want to be part of a story. So share your story, share authentically, provide value. That's the kind of stuff you want to bring to Facebook. It doesn't need to literally be a bunch of like blasting before and after pictures, but those are good if you feel inspired on that. So test it out this little bit this week. We will dive into that. So Carlene, Denise, so good. Thank you so much. And you guys, honestly, troopers. Carlene, you just got out being sick. Like, you're still sick right now. You wouldn't be able to tell. Denise, oh my gosh, tell Frank I said hi. You guys are amazing. So we're going to move into the main part of this. All right, guys, like literally, I want you guys to like pay attention to this. Like Dawn, like we brought on one of the gals that does this really well. And so Allison You are a rock star at this. I love your authenticity of what you do with this. You run very high frontline volume. You're a busy mama. You got 2 kids hanging off you generally all the time. I don't know why they're probably hanging off your back right now, but you do this so well. And I could have called on a lot of people to do this, but I don't know, for some reason, Allison was just speaking to me. So Dawn and Allison are going to cover. Actually, Dawn, I'll let you share it, what we're covering right now. And I think this is the goal that most people came here for today.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, I mean, we've heard about the hundreds list and then Facebook and social media. And what that does is it brings people into our lives so that we have the opportunity to share with them. So that is what Allison is going to come off and share her screen and really go through the steps, the simplicity, the keeping it real of doing a full share. And you're right, Brad. Allison is a busy, busy mama. And you know what? She just does this so well and is so consistent. So Allison, come on off mute, girl. Let's share your screen and let's get started sharing about the full share.
All right. Hi, guys. Good morning. Gosh, y'all are talking me up, making me all nervous.
You are good at this. So one of the things that is great just about is being authentic and being you. So Carlene, you couldn't have like teed us up any better to be talking about this topic right now. And really, guys, this is the game changer. I mean, I hope get your pens out and your pieces of paper because, you know, listen to what Allison shares and the way she talks about it and just how real she is. This is a game changer right here. Really learning how to fully and authentically share what we have.
Yeah, thanks, Dawn. I can't agree enough. What the speaker said before is just really being authentic. We all are on Facebook, I hope. If you're not on Facebook, then get on Facebook. But we're all on Facebook and we all see people posting day in and day out. There's a lot of things that speak to us and a lot of things that kind of don't, right? Does everybody see those things on Facebook? So we want to be authentic. We want to be ourselves. And we want to share what we have in our hands. And the only way to do that is by talking to people. And people are not going to want to talk to us if we're not real and if we're not sharing. So first thing we want to do is get to the phone or get on Zoom. I don't know if many of you use Zoom to do a share call, but that's usually where I start. But the first thing is making it really, really personal. So, well, not too personal, but getting onto Zoom or phone and sharing what we offer so that people know just how great our program is. So, for instance, on Facebook, when we post, I'm going to move into this one because this is my post, but I post a lot of before and afters. I post a lot of text. This was a text from my friend Angela, and you know what? People ask, "What are you doing?" I get private messages or I get comments, and I don't know if y'all can see on here, but it says, "Hey, what program do you coach?" Well, there's a lot of different ways you could answer that question, but what I choose to do is I say, you know what? Hey, it depends, right? I mean, we have a lot of different ways that we help people. And what we want to do is get on the phone and share what we have in our hands. And the first and only way to do that is by talking to people and asking what they really want to create in their lives. Can everyone relate with that? Yeah. So kind of some real life examples of how I'm able to utilize that and get on the phone with people. This, if I can back up again, right here, this is actually a real life example from Jenny. She said, "What program do you coach?" And you can see that depends. And then I go forward and then I private messaged her. "Hey, Jenny, how are you? I'd love to answer your questions you have. The program that someone does, it really depends on their goals. What do you have in mind or who do you have in mind? Are you just asking?" So we don't want to assume that when people comment or message us that it's about them. It might be about their dad, or it might be about their brother or a coworker. I never want to assume that it's about them. So you can see that she says, well, "I've got 70 pounds. I want to, I want to feel better." So at this point, y'all, you could say a whole bunch of gibberish and you could message them a whole bunch of information. But really what I like to do is kind of stop the conversation. Well, not stop the conversation, but leave the door open to, "Hey, yeah, I can do that. Let's talk. Let's talk on the phone. How many of y'all have had someone message you their whole life story and have said, I have 50 pounds I want to lose. I don't feel good. My kids are running around and, I hate my job. I hate my life. And I think it's human nature for us to say, oh, girl, I know how you feel. And I felt that way. And this program is amazing. I'm going to be able to help you do this and that. It's in our nature to want to help. But what I have found that really works best for me is by simply saying, oh, wow, yes, I can help with that. When can we talk about it? And you know what that does is it gives people that hope and that the want to talk to you, because you hold the answers. You hold the key to that. And if you verbally vomit a whole bunch of stuff in this really precarious beginning of your relationship, they're not going to want to talk to you, because you might say something a little off or something that may or may not resonate with them. And the power is so much in our words and in our share. And so if we can get people on the phone and really ask them about what they want and what they want to create in their life, guess what? We as coaches get to paint that picture for them. How cool is that? That we get to do that. Paint that whole picture for them, and by the end of the call, they get to envision that. So there's an example there. Guess what? This girl became a client. I didn't even know her. I don't even know her. She came to me somehow and saw a post, and now we have a relationship. She's on day 2 of program, and she's a busy ER nurse. So cool. Another example here on the right is a girl, again, I don't even know her. I don't know her. She messaged me. Hey, Allison, I'm Allison with 1L2. I see your posts all over Facebook. What's up with that? Well, right here, y'all, I could send them a website or be like, I'm a health coach and I help people lose 10 to 15 pounds a month. And my clients eat a whole bunch of food and then they do. Yeah, I could do that. But guess what I did? Hey, Allison with 1L, let's talk. And guess what? She became a client too. Isn't that crazy? Y'all seeing some consistency here? I think, and I'm not saying that all of this came 100% naturally to me. Guess what? I have a support team, a pretty amazing one. And it took me some time to realize what was working and what maybe wasn't working. And what didn't work for me was telling people too much information too soon. So I like to be the keeper of that information because I want to paint that picture for them instead of them painting it first. Does that make sense? Okay, I can't hear y'all, but hopefully y'all are still there. So what do I do when someone straight up just says, hey, what are you doing? I want help. Again, hey Jen, oh my gosh, I'd love to share with you what I'm doing. Here's my number. What's your number? I've got free time tomorrow. I'm free after 7 or I'm free before 3 because I got kids. And yeah, Brad's right. Yesterday Wes was hanging off of my neck. So, there's a time and place for kids to be in the background. And sometimes with someone you don't know, it's just not appropriate. And so with this, I always kind of give an example of what time I might be available, because this person is texting you right now, or they're Facebook messaging you right now. They've got time right now, and you want to seal that deal or seal the meeting right then. Because if they message you back hours later, the feeling of health is fleeting. That picture they've forgotten about. So if you can, if at all possible, yes, tomorrow, 7 p.m., what works? And so then you set the call up, and then what do you do? So a lot of y'all are new, maybe newish coaches, and so you're still utilizing your support team. And some of y'all might be doing your own share calls, and that's awesome. Guess what? I still use my support team all the time. There's plenty of times when I ask Dawn to come in and do a share call with me. It might be a medical professional, or it might be someone whose personality might not align with mine. I have a strong personality, and sometimes I want to bring in someone who is a little, well, I don't know, just different from me, so that we balance each other out and we get to show our clients that we're a team and we have a ton of support. So number one thing, don't be weird. All right, I'm weird, but like I'm not really weird. I don't know. We'll get into that. But just don't be weird. Make this so supernatural. If you want to bring on your support team, if you're at that point where you're training and you're still doing these calls, it doesn't have to be this over dramatized thing. Keep it super simple. Hey, Susie, I'm going to ask my friend Dawn to join me because we're a team. So I'll call you at 3, like we said. Boom, there you go. They don't need to know why and how and this and that, and she's a nurse and she's been doing this for 15 years and she's amazing and an expert. All they need to know is we're a freaking team and we're going to rock your world, right? So there's so much value in your support team. And I'm just going to say this as we kind of talk a little bit more about the share call. I just had the extreme honor of being in Hawaii with my coaches, Dawn and Brad. And we were there for an extended period of time, which is fun. How great we have a mobile office. And Dawn and I were sitting by the pool. And I'm like, maybe, we all kind of get in our heads sometimes. Maybe I'm not sharing this right. What am I doing? And I listened to Dawn share when we're, lounge side. And she listened to me share. Guess what? We do the exact same thing, following the same components of a share, but with different personalities. So that was kind of refreshing to know that. But again, back to introducing or back to bringing in your support team. Really don't take the time to over explain or over edify. It makes it weird. And we're not weird. We're natural. We're fun. We want people to be a part of our community because they see how unweird we are and how fun and easy and simple it is. So again, something to say, hey, Susie, I'm going to ask my friend and my partner to join me because we're a team and we're better together, or whatever rings true to you, but sometimes less is more. Okay, so here's some real life examples. Now again, y'all, don't be copy and pasting because you want to do what's real for you. And I can't say enough, every situation is different. Sometimes people come to us and we already know them. They're your friend from 30 years ago. And that conversation is going to be so different than someone who you don't know. So sometimes you need to explain a little, and sometimes you're just like, hey, I'm going to ask Dawn to join us. So anyway, here's some examples. One here, hey girls, I'm excited to introduce y'all. Alicia's in transition. She's almost to maintenance, and she wants to explore what it'd look like to help some friends. And then I say, Alicia, like I mentioned, Dawn's my health coach, but more importantly, she's my friend for over 10 years. I can't wait to introduce y'all. Have a great Tuesday. So I want to say also that another thing that I do is I had a hard time finding some of these transitional introductions, because what I've started doing with my team and everyone is we in the first week, we kind of talk about our health coaches, and we are already introducing team coaching, so that by the time you get to wanting to introduce them, it might look a little different. But for the sake of introducing someone to get on a Zoom or a share call, it may look like this. I'm going to ask my coach to join me because we team coach. End of story. Make sense? Don't worry about being perfect. Just don't overdo it. Okay. So like I was saying before, there's kind of an outline of what we do for sharing. And I'm sure all of y'all, unless you've never done a share call or unless you've never shared program, everyone knows what I'm talking about. We do a quick intro, we share our 4 components, we answer some questions, and then we get them set up. Same thing every time, although the weaving of the conversation might be a little different each time. And so what we always want when we come to the table for these calls are your well-being tracker, your outline. There's 2 different outlines in Simple Systems, and I actually prefer the health. Dawn's got one there. I actually prefer the health assessment script. Just because it's shorter, it's sweeter, and there's not as many words. But I can't say enough, don't be weird, y'all. Don't sit there and just read it. This script is meant to be a guide for you, and it's meant to kind of draw you back in if you get off topic. and y'all can tell if you can't see me, I talk with my hands, and I'm Southern and I do talk a lot. So I love having that script in front of me to kind of figure out, oh, where was I? So it says script, but don't read it verbatim. Okay, and then also a video or well-being evaluation. I don't even use that at this point. I usually do that later. So work with your support team to know when that might not be needed. Okay, so part 1. This is the most fun. It's going to take the most time out of the whole call, but it's really an introduction. And again, y'all, this is always going to look different. Is this a person who I've known for 20 years and they've reached out to me? Or is this a person like Jenny who messaged me and was like, what are you doing? So it's always going to be different. And what it looks like for me is, if it's a friend of 20 years, what's up, y'all? You know, how are you? The kids look great. Oh my God, this is crazy. I love that we're talking right now. What made you want to reach out to me? What's going on? You see, that's like, she's my friend. And I don't want to be like, hello, what program would you like? I mean, no one is going to resonate with that, and they're not going to want to join our amazing team. So again, keep it real. And even if you're nervous, just try to be normal and not weird. If it's someone that I don't know, like Jenny, I got on the phone with her and was like, hey, how are you? Tell me a little bit about you. What's going on in your health? And then I spend some time about 5 to 7 questions, really getting to the bottom of what is going on with them. What do they want to see happen with their health? And then I share a little bit about me. Oh, I love that, Jenny. I'd love to share with you what brought me to this program. And then kind of move into what we could do for them and how our program can align with their goals and what they want to see happen with their health. So again, these are some example questions. I don't always ask everything. It depends on how the conversation guides. If someone's taken me down a different path, I'm not going to reel them back into a question that might not make sense at that point. I'm going to let them guide the conversation, but I'm always going to kind of bring it back to that script gently, not interjectingly. Is that a word? Great questions. And again, work with your support team, because they're going to help show you how simple this can look. Okay, so once you figure out what it is that they want, then we're going to move into the second part of the 4 components of sharing. And at this point, this is really when I go into the program and I'm like, Jenny, wow, that's amazing. I love hearing your goals. I would love to share with you what I'm doing and how I'm helping people. Would you like to hear that? Yeah, of course they do. That's why they're on the phone with us, right? So, yes, I'd love to hear more. And I share the trilogy. And what that means is that I say, you know what, I work with a company called Optivia. And we're an amazing company. We have 3 main areas where we work with our clients: financial health, physical health, and then we have an emotional or mental health piece. I came into the company because I had a really strong financial need. I did that 5 years ago. I've replaced my income. My health has improved. I feel great. It sounds like where you'd like to start is with the physical health piece. Is that right? You'd like to start with maybe losing weight. They always say yes, but you know what? I might want to come back to that financial part. Okay, we'll do that. No worries. We'll come back to that another time. Today, let's talk about weight loss and what that might look like for you. Okay, so then at that point, here we go. What it looks like to work with us: support, community, education, and then we have amazing nutrition plans. Obviously, for the sake of time, I might go a little short on this. I don't want to hold y'all up today, but this part of the conversation where you talk about support, our community, and education, you'll see that on your the health script, or the script, and like how to kind of explain that. And at this part, I weave in what has rang true for me and for my health with the support and with the community, and of course education. Y'all, we know diets don't work, and I always say that. We know diets don't work. We know people gain weight back. Have you ever done a diet before? I always ask that question. And almost always they say, yes, I have. And then I mentioned, you know what, this is really what sets us apart from anything else out there, from any other program. We have an amazing support, amazing community, and our education is superb. If you really delve in to our 4 components, you're going to see that your health is going to soar. And guess what? When you get to your goal weight, I'm going to help you keep it off. How does that sound? And they're like, what? You're going to do what? So really spend some time with your support team working through the 4 components of our program so that it flows naturally for you and that it's real. Because if you're weird right here, they're not going to understand it, and they're not going to want to join us. So as far as our nutrition plans go, y'all know we help people in a lot of different capacities. And so I let them know that we have a lot of different ways we help our clients. It sounds like the 5-in-1, which is our most popular program, would really suit your goals right now. And what that looks like for you is this. Our clients eat 6 times a day. They drink lots and lots of water, and they eat lots and lots of food. Boom. There you go. We eat. I'm going to help you learn how to cook your meals. So that's where I head with that. And then I wait and see if they have any questions. Most of the time people have questions, and that's okay. We want questions. I don't want someone to give me their credit card information right here. So questions are good. Answer their questions. And then the next part, really setting up, getting their programs ordered. And so that can be a little awkward for people. And I can't tell you enough. At this point, assume they're going to join us. Why wouldn't they? We've explained it well. They're going to join us. So I always ask, well, what do you think? Does that feel like a good fit? Are you ready to get started? And sometimes they'll say, yeah, it does sound like a good fit. And then I may ask some more questions. What sounds like the most part? I don't know. What do you think you would enjoy most? Yeah, are you ready? I asked this. Okay, great. You're ready to join us. Are you ready to do that right now? What it looks like is I just get your shipping and billing info. You're going to get this big old box of food. It's going to come to your door, and then you're going to call me and say, Allison, what is this stuff? How's it going to get me healthy? And then we get to work. So yes, when they do that, at this point, if they haven't asked me how much it costs, I let them know. This is super simple. Guess what? You're going to love it. It's super affordable. It's anywhere from $11 to $13 a day, depending on which program they pick, right? I get everyone set up with a Essentials Optimal Kit, which I'm sure that's exactly what you guys are doing. And then ask them where they want it shipped. Get everything squared away. And then one of the main things I say is, Susie, hey, can you think of someone who'd want to join you? Anyone who would want to do this with you? As we talked about before, we truly are better together. We do great with a community. And when people are around you, know what you're doing and are doing it with you, it's so much easier for you too. So can you think of someone who we might be able to chat with who might want to do this with you? Guess what, y'all? That's kind of changed my business a little bit because people say yes. So how cool is that? And then right away, we're doing a share call with them and with their friend from work. And then guess what? They might want to become a health coach too, because they might want to help their friend Laura at work. Okay, so ordering their program. Again, we all get that set up for them. I think a common question right here is people say, well, what do I do? Do you just send me your website? And I'm not trying to like shut people down or anything, but what I say and what has really served me well is, you know what, girl, you don't even worry about all that. I'm going to do all of that for you. The only thing I need to do is get your shipping and billing info. I'm going to get that done. And the only thing you need to worry about is calling me when your program comes. And they're like, thank you so much. Wow. Okay. Thank you. So how cool is that? We don't want to bog people down with all of this peripheral stuff. We want to assist them in getting their programs, getting it to their house, and getting them started. So then people want to know about the website. Well, what's the website? Again, don't you even worry about that, girl. I'm going to get all of that done for you. And again, it's not to shut them down. It's just I kind of want to stop that conversation so that their brains aren't going there. I want their brains to be concerned, not even concerned, but I want their brains to be on fire with their book and their program materials and getting started. Does that make sense? Hope so. Okay. lastly is letting them know what to expect. I always say this stuff's going to come. You're going to get this huge program. How amazing is that? You're going to get a welcome email from me. It's a whole bunch of information. Please don't feel overwhelmed. Guess what? I'm going to help you with it. I'm going to add you into a community, and then you're going to get daily text. And then I let them know what it's going to look like to be coached by me, because I want them to know what that looks like, and that I'm not available 24/7, but I am available to help them and assist them. And so lastly is, hey, get ready, Susie. Everyone around you is going to be noticing. And when the time comes, I'd love to help you help some of your friends and family if that feels like a good fit for you. And if not, guess what? I have an amazing referral program, and you're going to love that. That's going to help you pay for some of your food. Cool. And they're like, huh, really? And it's like, yep, but don't even worry about that. We can come back to that later. Right? Okay. And if they're not ready, y'all, that doesn't matter. We have shared the program so amazingly and rocked their world and haven't been weird and have just shown them a whole light, a whole rainbow over in the distance, that they will want to join you. Maybe not right now, but it might be in 6 months, or it might be a year. It might be 4 years, like some of my clients that have come on. No big deal. We add them into our support page. We support them and love them where they're at. And then we follow up with them, just like Carlene and Denise were talking about earlier. Follow up. And eventually they will become clients. And if they don't, that's okay. That's okay too, right? Oh, that's it for me.
Allison, incredible job. Everyone, let's give her a round of applause. The chat was just like blowing up, like with the tips. So I hope with everything what you got there, guys, and I apologize, we went a little long today, but we're going to wrap up right now, is kind of actually sorry, but not sorry, because Allison just did so good. If you do exactly what she did, and honestly, practice makes perfect. So you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Trust me, guys, because I just like tripped over every word possible when I got started and it didn't matter. But notice what Allison did. She postured. She had followed the layout. She wasn't weird. She focused on them. If you basically just follow the guidelines, the call like does itself. If you're at all present and listening to the person and you know your little points, and I can't point out enough your posture, Allison, and how you lay it out. Like, has it ever been weird with anyone because people don't know what's going on? Have you ever been like invited somewhere or been told something was going to happen and you're like, I thought it was going to be like this and it's not, or you just weren't told anything? You got to let people know how it's going to go. Like, I think we've all had awkward situations with like setting up calls or like talking with someone and sharing program or coaching them. It's weird probably because we didn't set the tone as good as we probably could. And don't beat yourself up. Like, you know what, I still make these mistakes. But like, gold standard, now you know what to do on all these things. So Allison, mic drop. Literally so good. There's some other nuggets in there that you can do as well, as far as like teaching them about referrals, or just literally asking who wants to start with them, or just posturing that, hey, you're going to be successful. Like, just telling people that they're going to be successful is a game changer. Like, what? You're so confident that you're telling me that this is going to work? I remember telling that to my first few clients, like, hey, you're going to be successful. They were like, what? Because they had already kind of given up in their mind. They didn't make the decision. That's another powerful one. So Allison, incredible job. So that, guys, I just want to wrap up today by saying congratulations on being consistent. Truly incredible. Practice this week. I want to give a promotion for what we're doing right now. Agents of Transformation events. Guys, again, we're covering all the things that help you become a successful health coach, the best health coach, and grow your business. And I would be remiss if I didn't say go to events. You literally can't be your true authentic self by going to events. We don't do that many because we do our trainings quickly, easily, and at home and on Zoom like this. But guys, if you're anywhere near any of these events, June 3rd in Orlando, June 10th in Portland, or June 17th in Long Beach, guys, please go there. Understand what kind of a community you're truly part of. Honestly, to be truly authentic, it took me going to an event and seeing the heart of what this was all about and being around people, like literally being like, why are these people different? Like, why are these people so happy? Like, what's changed in their life? So if you haven't been to an event yet, mark one of these down on your calendar and go to them. Ashley and I love this so much. We're going to be in Portland and we're going to be in Long Beach. Talks about freedom. Like, we're also going to hit up some Disneyland too, like, because we're right next to it in Long Beach. So guys, if you guys want to come to the events, come talk to us. If you are out of town, want to come to Portland, we'll make accommodations for you. If you want to go to any other events, please let us know. We'll help you get settled in. National Convention, just another plug because we're about 6 weeks away from that. Guys, go to National Convention. We'll cover more on this later, but I just, again, wanted to get the dates. Our goal is to help you, like, just make sure you plan your calendar really effectively on this. Last thing for steps this week, guys. We covered some great stuff. Denise, thank you. List, so important. Carlene, gold on social media. Practice this week. Wherever you're at, like we have experienced like newbies on this call. Just test it out, consistency over time. And then just try to be like Allison. I mean, try not to be exactly like Allison, be you, but like I'm going to try to be as close to what Allison did every time I share as possible, because that is how you set up rock solid clients. So if I could wrap a pretty bow on this for you this week, that you guys are like getting your mojo working on this and seeing your results, is like right now, before you do anything else, confirm your cornerstones. Like this is our right now stuff. Just make sure you got your schedule intact. Make sure you got your clients check-in day in there. Make sure you have your hundreds list, or at least print it out and start working on it. Make sure you have a follow-up day. I suggest Fridays. We'll cover more on follow-up next week. Your map, and honestly, guys, if you're not like connected to your support team like daily, like texting and in communication, like don't go about this alone, you guys. Like that's literally the biggest thing. I just want to share everything that's going to like be predictable success for y'all. Review your map. This is a great time. Next week, we'll also talk about looking at your month, middle of the month, like how pros do it, how everyone here that's training does it. In this week alone, if you haven't expanded your 100-person list to 100, get in that motion. It's actually more of like, not only is it you can call on it anytime. Like we have promotions that we do sometimes. We have focus groups. If you don't have a list that's full, and you can't just be like, oh, like who am I going to contact? You're starting behind the 8 ball. So expand that 100 list. But more importantly, it gets your mind in a mentality of thinking about people. Like once you start the process, like you can't stop it. So it's an exercise that you want to do. And then the other thing here is we're going to have a tool that we'll cover next week, which is about how to follow up with people that aren't quite ready in the video that we suggest for that. So that one will be posted in the Facebook group. Watch out for that. Dawn's got a great video that she's doing. And then the last thing, like these are just some things to check in right now. But for this week, what I would suggest, especially if you're on the newer side, practice the social media stuff you heard today. Practice marrying that with the hundreds list. And again, just like really to make sure the rubber meets the road, start 2 to 3 clients this week. And guys, if I could just give you guys one thing as we sign off here today, your business depends, like I'll give you the other success pieces. It comes down to how consistent you are. It comes down to how many shares, how many posts, how many follow-ups, how many pieces that you can, like basically every time you mention this, it adds up. So how to check yourself on a pulse like that. How many am I actually doing? How many lives am I getting connected with? It's not about a lot of time. It's about a lot of efficiency. So with that being said, I just want to thank all the trainers. Incredible job today. Allison literally knocked it out of the park. So with that being said, congrats on the consistency. You guys have a great Saturday. And last but not least, happy pre-Mother's Day to all of you moms out there. Make sure you go tell your mom that you appreciate them. And for all you moms out here on this call, we love what you do. Again, I'm just long-winded today, but we have a gift for people. A lot of like dads come home, a lot of moms come home to see Amber working like her hundreds list, touching lives with her kids on her. Amber used to work a 40-hour-a-week job where she would run around ragged, and now she's at home with her kids. That's what we do. That's a true way to celebrate Mom's Day. So that being said, you guys have a great week. Thanks for the community, the coffee, the consistency, the action. Talk to you guys all soon.
Thanks, Brad.